but it was so close to when the Ring of Fire spawned, and the early game Akali ultimate is such a long cooldown that Faker never got the ultimate back. So this is actually... And this is what you were talking about earlier. So for people who don't know, when you have a Seekers, every minion you kill, you're stacking up actually additional armor and AP.
Yeah, and it takes 30 CS to stack it.
Yeah, so it's going to take quite a while. So Faker, by the end, will have a fully stacked Seeker's Arm Guard, we are assuming. And if he can actually get a lot of farm and potentially even a kill, he will have enough gold for the Gunblade. So it's going to be, can Levi kind of deny him off it, or does Faker go for Dorans and other things and not actually get to that full item? But this is going to be really interesting. Levi, double combat summoners here. They're both playing Barrier and Ignite. And it's going to be up to him largely, I think, to kind of press his advantage in the early game, because I think it's going to become incredibly hard to 1v1 Faker later on in the game as this marksman into assassin matchup, especially if you get to Ring of Fire and there's not a lot of area to kite.
Yeah, a lot of damage up there. The big thing I'm going to watch for is, can Buster's shot actually force Faker far enough back that he has to walk through the ring? But if Faker lands a Shuriken, E2 puts you right back in range, no matter how far away you went, and that's going to be, I think, a really important sort of part to watch. Early push, of course, is going to Trist. But depending on how well Faker plays the matchup, you don't always have a ton of pressure. Goes into stealth, lands a bunch of the attacks here. And you can see that, yeah, only 2 charge E doesn't do all that much damage, and Faker is pretty healthy.
And there's no snowball to reveal, so there's no actual way for Levi to fully reveal Faker. Yes, you can hit him with some sort of AoE damage from Explosive Shot or your W to actually see where he is, but you can't target him, right? And that was such a big difference maker in the last one for Jankos, having that snowball in the final all-in to actually reveal. And this is an early Ignite here, plus Explosive Shot there from Levi. I actually like it because you have to remember how low the cooldown is.
Yes.
So if you can actually force a pretty bad recall or a barrier, as he did in this case,
yeah, and
that can be worthwhile, right? Very likely, Ignite will be back up before they actually go for any sort of a fight again.
Yeah, it's a roughly a minute for the cooldowns here. It's basically the same as your old cooldown. Just something that this is something that a lot of top laners do. This, especially when Shiv top was popular, you would just ult as soon as you had it. Just like force a fight, force your health bar down, and then just TP back to lane.
And Levi should get at least one plate here. So he pushed Faker back to base. He gets a plate. Faker's going to miss the cannon, which is actually...
Gets the cannon, barely. Though.
I thought that was going to die to the previous turret shot. It lived with a couple health. So that is actually really big because the cannon was worth so much gold in this mode. But still, I think a really well-played early couple levels and nice trade there for Levi. He's going towards the Hex Shrinker. I think that's the right choice. Faker picks up boots as well as the Amp Tome. So the fact that he has boots as well as refillable outside of that, he's going to need a lot of gold to complete the Seekers, plus Gunblade combo. So we'll see if he can farm well enough or even get some plates or a kill to make sure he gets there before Ring of Fire. Could be tough.
Yeah, we'll be interesting if he goes for some kind of secondary build instead, if it is a bit too expensive to get all of them. Trust Faker could have really good CS, but as we saw from the beginning of the matchup, you can't get all of them in this matchup. So yeah, we'll see what the gold ends up being. That's, I think, a really big part of this mode, is kind of identifying what your end game build is going to be. Yeah,
and I mean, if you can't get access to plates because of the matchup, and if you can't get an early kill, then you may just not actually get that much gold, right? Because Seekers is 1100 now, I do believe. Gunblade, I think, is 3100. So that's already, you need 4200. Boots is another 300. You're at 45.
Yep.
150 for refillable. You're at 4600. The high end of what we've seen people get, I think, is around 4800. And I want to say that was with plates and maybe a kill. I'm not exactly sure on how their CS was, but that's the high end of gold you can achieve.
Yes.
Of course, it's Faker. He could do it.
Yeah.
But it's not guaranteed.
3,400 gold earned right now. He's level 8. Again, final death pretty much happens at level 11 or 12 if you got perfect XP.
Yeah.
So a bit of time to go, but you can see how the build is progressing. He's 2/3 the way to the money needed. And he is, of course, going towards Gunblade. That wasn't the surprise, but just in case he had other ideas, you can see the components there.
It's interesting because you're never sure how much they've calculated it out in a mode like this. And Faker did actually miss a cannon there, so I think he's for sure going to need a kill or plates now to actually achieve that much gold, especially because he bought boots.
Yep.
The boots theoretically could be the difference between actually having the Gunblade completion or not. And normally in an SR game, a trade like that makes a lot of sense because you're kind of zoning him off, and yeah, you miss a CS or two, but it's not a big deal. When cannon is worth so much damn gold, those trades can be kind of harder to calculate.
Yep. So again, Levi burning through some cooldowns, getting some decent damage there on a Faker, putting in half HP. But you can see that Faker's feeling pretty confident now with just the the fully stacked arm guard and the revolver. He's actually pushing Levi around quite a bit, and it's pretty hard for the Trist.
Look how defensive this Levi build is. He's actually stopwatch plus Hex Shrinker. One of my concerns is just are you going to have enough damage to actually kill him, or are you just all in on the fact that you could Buster Shot him out into the Ring of Fire? Because you still have to kill this guy.
Yeah.
And, you know, Faker is going to have lifesteal if there's minions around and you go into stopwatch, and you can potentially spell vamp a little bit with the Gunblade. So it is a bit risky.
Oh, Faker going for big damage. Doesn't force everything out just yet. Watch out for ult 2, and there's stopwatch, and that could mean 400 gold. That's going to be a trade. It's 1 for 1. And so stopwatch basically, yeah, I mean, not the worst thing in the world there.
No, not the worst, but it's on cooldown, and he still died.
Yeah.
You're not going to get another use out of it. So I would actually say it's really bad at this point, because Faker got first blood, got the stopwatch out. Yeah, sure, Levi can sell it, but it's for a pittance of what you actually put in.
The
resale is very, very low.
Basically spent 400 total gold and still went down 100 from the trade.
Exactly. So I think Faker is way ahead now, and I do like that he was able to aggressively trade out on a play like this. And with that first blood gold, guess what? He's got his Gunblade, so he has the perfect build here.
4900 for Faker, Gunblade in, Arm Guard on top, and again, next kill outright wins. If Faker does misstep, the game is over and he dies in the short or whatever. Sudden death, obviously his next kill wins as well, but this is now, kill ends the game, 30 seconds till the sudden death happens as well.
The other wrinkle that we have to look at, Akali may not have ultimate before the game actually ends. So if this is a no ult Akali,
98 second on the ult, doesn't have it. No, so he's not, just straight up.
That is tough, unless you can wait until the ring is fully closed, because it doesn't go smaller than 500 units, but at that point you're probably forced into a fight.
You're just autoing each other on,
And Trist's ultimate cooldown is a lot lower, so Buster Shot will be available, and Levi potentially can actually knock Faker out of the ring. But Tabby's Gunblade Seekers, very efficient build here for Faker. He may be able to win, but being down ultimate is actually a really big deal, and that's something that I hadn't really considered when he got that first kill, is would the ultimate be back up for this final sudden death, and that's where we are. So if Levi gets the next kill, that'll be that.
Yep. One thing to point out, the ring is slower in Spectator than it is for the actual players and the actual game mechanics. The fight's going to happen right now. No ult for Faker, but he's invisible. Levi attacking, going back and forth, but he's going to hold the ult. He's going to hold the ult until the actual ring itself. The minimap icon of the ring is accurate. That red ring is really close to them right now. There's not a lot of room left for them. Ignite's going to go on. Faker gets the E off. Still no ult for him, but has his own barrier and Ignite. And he's out the edge of the ring. He can't go any farther back, so the damage is going to come across. Barrier is on. Going to Buster Shot him, and he's going to be almost putting down, but not quite. He's still in the middle there. That Buster didn't do a whole lot for him.
He's trying to delay till his ultimate. This is as small as the ring gets, I think. So you can look at the minimap. It doesn't seem
25 seconds, though. Invisible. He's going to get the auto attack here. There's nowhere to really go.
The
Ma is popped. The E's going to wait out most of that cooldown. This is big damage. And Levi shuts down Faker.
Levi able to get the kill there. Faker couldn't get the ultimate back, and without that, despite the fact that he was up gold, had better itemization, the ultimate really made the difference. He just didn't have enough damage to push through the Maw, to push through the double Doran's Blade without having that. And Faker going to be knocked out early here by Levi.
And props to Levi. That's all you can really say. He played it really, really well. And I don't know if he planned to force the tower dive or not, but ult difference, certainly a big deal here.
It really was. And when I was watching this initially, I was thinking this is so good for Faker because he got the stopwatch out, he got the first blood kill, so you're thinking, okay, great. He has Gunblade, the stopwatch is gone, he's never going to be able to get a GA or something like that, so I was thinking it was going to be really positive. But it was so close to when the Ring of Fire spawned, and the early game Akali ultimate is such a long cooldown that Faker never got the ultimate back. So this is actually, their point of view, where you can see they were already in that Ring of Fire. Faker got Buster Shot back out of it, so there is a mismatch on what we're watching live versus what the players are actually seeing. It is desynced. The minimap, as you pointed out, is accurate to that circle, so it was right around them. And that Buster Shot knocking Faker out into the Ring of Fire, had no ultimate to get back in.